Let's turn to page 6. As we read responsively. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship.
May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture.
May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity.
May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet.
May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness.
May the center of peace, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life.
And now we turn to page 2, and we gather together for the candles. So, who can help me? Karen, can you help me up here? So again, we light our Shabbat candles first, and then we light an extra candle for Israel. Is this locked? Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
And now we light another candle. This candle we've been lighting since October 7th. And we offer this blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who frees the captives. May all our hostages come home soon. Please turn in your prayer books as we read this prayer for Israel, page 259, 259. Sha'alu shalom Yerushalayim yishlayu ohavayich. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you prosper. Let's read together at the bottom. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. We now continue on page 20 with Lecha Dodi, page 20. Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabla, Lecha Dodi ligrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'lit hilah. Lecha Dodi, Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor habraha, Meherosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumi uri, shir daberi, kavod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Please rise. Verse 9. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha v'tzahala, Toch emunei am segula, Boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Penei Shabbat nekabela. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's turn to the people around us and let's greet each other. Stay up here with me? All right. So, now it's time to share simcha. Any simchas, happy moments? Yes. There.
I said I got a new car. I can actually get out of it without it hurting.
All right. Mazel tov.
Oh, actually I have two.
Yeah?
Chris got accepted into the Gifted and Talented program from her district.
Terrific. Yay, Crystal. Any other simchas, happy moments, celebrations?
Well, I celebrated going to Denver to see my family, my daughter,
Yeah?
several of my granddaughters.
Okay. Good.
That to me is everything.
All right. Huh? Wow. Wow. So Texas is in the Big 12 championship. That's good. I'm wearing my UT bow tie because of that. That's happening tomorrow. That's a good simcha. All right, Kyron, let's go. You going to help me with services? So let's turn in our prayer books now to page 26. Page 26. Thank you. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yalama devra hirate v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecha beit Yisrael bahagala uv'izman kariv v'yimaru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'alam ol me'almaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yinaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale, v'yithalal, shemei dekudesha brihu, le'ela min kol birhata v'shirata, Tushbechata benechemata damiran bialama vimaru. Amen. Please rise for Baruch Hu. You're going to play us, okay? Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da, ya da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. On page 30, let's read together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim b'chochma poteach sha'arim uvitvuna meshana itim umachalif et hazmanim umesader et hakochavim b'mishmarotehem barakia kirtsono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'hoshech mipnei or avir yom umevi laila avdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzavaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid imloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim. On the top of page 33 we read together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Stay here with me. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Hey, Kyrie, why don't you go sit with your mom? Yeah. Ve'ahavtaha et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha Vishinantam livanecha vidibarta bam beshivtecha bvetecha uvlechtecha vaderech uvshachbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot ayadecha v'hayulatotafot beinenecha Uchtavtaham Amazuzot Beitecha Uvisharecha Leman Tizkaru Vasitem et Komitzvotai Vitem Gadoshim Lelohechem Ahani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzei tiatchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lahem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem emet. On bottom of page 39, we read responsively, in a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Mi hamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh. Nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele. Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei ayaham lifnei Moshe Miriam zelianu v'yameru Adonai yimloch Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed v'nemar Kifad Adonai et Yaakov, v'giala mi'arazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. Top of page 43, together. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. We continue now with Vishamru, page 44. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru v'nei Yisrael HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam. Beni uven, Bnei Yisrael, Od Hi Leolam, Od Hi Leolam, Vishamru, Bnei Yisrael, et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et hashabat lasot et hashabat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom Ashvi'i, Shavat Vayinafash, Shavat Vayinafash, Shavat Vayinafash. Shamru V'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, Lasot et HaShabbat, Ledorotam Berit Olam. Page 46. Please rise for tefillah. Adonai Sifatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula, Livnei V'nehem, Laman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atah, Rav Lehoshia, Moshiva Ruach, U'Morida Gashem, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Baal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Meimit Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh, v'shem hakadosh, u'kadoshim hayom, yalalucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. And let us all say amen. You may be seated. We continue on the top of page 55 together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael, utfilatam b'hava tekabel, udhil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'odcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. The bottom of page 59. Together, when we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us a little less than divine, adorned with glory and majesty. Dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulcha na'el lehoda. Let's read together on page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of all the land. May virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael. Shalom. Let's take a moment for our own private reflection. Please pray silently. Yehiyu l'ratzon imrei fi, v'hegion libi lefaneha, Adonai tzuri v'goali. May the words of our mouths and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable to you, Adonai, our rock and our Redeemer. Amen. We now turn in our prayer book to page 253. 253. And we turn to our friends and our family members, those who are struggling with illness here and around the world. In our own community, we call out the names of Wanda Berkowitz, Margot Seckler, Wendy Long, Bill Ellis, Michelle Danmiller, Diane Statham, Malena Barcina Villalobos, Ezra James Mullen. And in our community, we call out the names of those who are family members. Judith Levy, Monroe Zeffert, Aaron Kugler, Alan Levin, Karen Ellis, Shmuel Rosenzweig, Eve Goldstein, Bob Rosen, Charles Kurt, Christina Kurt, Tanya Thompson, Nikayla Williams, John Peacock, Joshua Godfrey, Anna L. Joblin, Emily Elkins. And as we go around the room, if you have names to add, please call them out. Misheberach Avotenu Mekor Habraha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habraha liavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. May the Holy and Blessed One bring healing to all those that we have named out loud and in our own hearts. And let us all say, Amen. So, before I begin, everyone should have a copy of this sheet. If you didn't get it, it's on the little table by that door. It's the old, you can't tell the players without a program sheet. So once upon a time, there was a rabbi who was asked by his students, Master, how should one determine the hour in which night ends and day begins? One student suggested, it's when a person can distinguish a sheep from a dog in the distance. No, said the rabbi, it is not. The second student ventured an answer. It's when one can distinguish a date tree and a fig tree from afar. Okay? Nope, it's not that either, said the rabbi. Please tell us the answer, the students begged. How should one determine when night has ended and the day began? And the rabbi answers, it is when you look into the face of a stranger and see your brother or your sister. Until then, night is still with us. How beautiful this Hasidic tale, which surely can be read on more than one level. It's, for halachic purposes, it's sometimes necessary to know when nighttime turns to day. For example, the famous story in the Passover Haggadah about the rabbis of Bnei Brak, who studied the Exodus all night long until one remarked that it was time to recite the morning Shema. On a literal level, this Hasidic teaching tells us when there is enough light to discern the features of another human being standing before you, when you can differentiate between the face of a stranger and the face of a sibling, then it's bright enough to be considered morning, and any commandments to be performed by day should be observed. Until that time, it's still night. So I believe that there's another deeper meaning to this Hasidic story. However, a meditation on bringing peace and healing that is found in the rabbi's poignant response to his students, it's when you look into the face of a stranger and see your sister or your brother, said the rabbi, until then, night is still with us. It's only when we can look at someone we do not know and see them as a fellow child of God, a person worthy of inherent dignity and respect, that we can overcome the darkness that is so often upon us. Until we feel a sense of responsibility for the stranger, a sense of connection to the other, night indeed is still very much with us. We'll return to the notion of looking at the face of a stranger in just a few moments, but first I want to talk to you about the most famous tale in all of Torah, the most famous kiss in Torah, the one that Esau gives his brother in this Shabbat's Torah portion, Parshat Vayishlach. So you may remember the story well, how Jacob and Esau, estranged from one another for 20 years, after Jacob stole Esau's birthright and blessing, and then fled to Haran to escape Esau's murderous rage, have now come together in this wilderness to reconcile and make amends. So there are clear signs that point to Jacob's understandable ambivalence at this moment of reunion. He's kept up the entire night wrestling with an angel, a person, himself. Well, that's a whole nother story for another time. Many commentators see as a stand-in for a guilty conscience. He sends ahead an enormous gift of animals and wealth and slaves to his brother Esau to kind of incline him favorably towards Jacob. He arrays his family on the day of their meeting in front of him with the least cherished wives on the front row and the most on the second row, because those in the back are more likely to be safe should there be a conflict. And what happens when the two siblings finally meet face to face after 2 decades? It says on the sheet, Esau ran to greet Jacob. He embraced him, and falling on his neck, he kissed him, and they wept. Now, being that this is in the Bible, with all of its intrigue and family dysfunction, the ancient rabbis couldn't quite let the story end there, on a seemingly lovely note of forgiveness and repair. Wouldn't that have been great? Okay? Rather, they point to a visual oddity in the text. Look at the word that's bolded. Vayishakehu. What do you notice about it? What's different? Huh? Okay, it's bigger because I wanted it to be bigger. But yes, all the dots on the top. Now, has anyone ever seen that anywhere in Torah? That there's a word that exists, and the scribal arts say, put a dot on top of every letter. What do those dots mean? Well, it's one of the great mysteries of the Torah. The presence of those series of dots above the word Vayishakehu. Such markings are generally designed to call a reader's attention to a feature of the narrative. What the rabbis imagine here is something extraordinary. It says in Bereshit Rabbah, a collection of midrashim, rabbinic legends from the 1st century CE, Rabbi Yanai said, the dots teach us that Esau did not come to kiss Jacob, but rather to bite him. But our father Jacob's neck turned to marble and thus the teeth of that wicked one were blunted. Thus, when the text says, and they cried, this one, Jacob, cried over his neck, and this one, Esau, cried over his teeth. Imagine the imagination of the rabbi that creates that story from those dots. In other words, the rabbis see the dots as a wink, as it were, or a set of quotation marks around the word in question, indicating that we should not read this as a friendly kiss, an innocent, but rather conveying a Dracula-like thirst for blood. Jacob may be ambivalent about the upcoming reunion, explain the rabbis, but he has every right to fear his brother, for he has in no way buried the hatchet and is rather looking for revenge. It's important to note that the reading of the rabbis contradicts the simple reading of the text in every possible way. The Torah itself suggests that no malice on Esau's part, and instead indicates that the brothers hug, kiss, and cry, exchange gifts and pleasantries, and ultimately part ways. But the fact that Esau was seen by the rabbis of being the progenitor of Edom, the nation of Rome, which persecuted the Jews so terribly during the first century that it led them to create as uncharitable a representation and interpretation of Esau's behavior, even contravening the text, turning it completely around in order to do so. They used the dotted markings to flip the kiss into an act of violence. There are many reasons why I dislike that reading of this parsha. Primarily because it upends a message of hope about the text and repair that is possible when two brothers are at loggerheads. So I place strong emphasis on the actual words of Jacob as they're recorded in the biblical text, which brings us back to our Hasidic tale and brotherly affection and notions of genuine reconciliation and forgiveness. After Esau turns down Jacob's lavish offerings, demurring that he has quite enough material comfort already, Jacob says to him, "No, I pray you, do me this favor. Accept from me this gift. For to see your face is like seeing the face of God," it says in the text. Jacob has been suspicious of Esau. Jacob has been jealous of Esau. Jacob has been afraid of Esau. But all this is going to be left in the past. Once Jacob confronts his brother, looks into his eyes, smells his familiar scent, and feels the comforting weight of his embrace, his resentment all falls away. He looks at his brother's dear face and sees the face of God. It's when you look into the face of a stranger and see your brother or sister, said the rabbi, until then night is with us. Jacob has experienced the deepest of darkness, betraying others, being betrayed in return, becoming ostracized from his family, being hated for just cause, being ashamed and afraid and alone. When he looks into the face of a stranger the night before his reunion with Esau encamped by the Yabok River, he sees not a friend but foe in the visage of this angel. And he demands to know his identity. He wrestles him. He's left damaged and limping. But when Jacob looks into Esau's face, this stranger from 20 years ago, whose grayed-haired and furrowed creases leave him looking not like the boy of his youth, until he sees his brother, his twin, the one with whom he shared a womb and a childhood set of devoted parents. He sees the face of love, the face of God, and suddenly the darkness lifts. Jacob and Esau part ways after their reconciliation and reunite again only for the burial of their father Isaac, who died at the ripe old age of 180. Still, I'd like to believe that both men left that encounter with their psychic loads significantly lightened. Once Jacob saw his brother in the face of a stranger, night finally faded into day. I imagine that we've all had our Jacob and Esau encounters, periods of estrangement from those whom we once felt close, moments of shame over how we may have treated one another, tender places of pain left over from how another has treated us. We've had to look in the face of someone who feels very much the stranger and decide either to suspect or trust, to reject or to try again, to push away or to see the other as our sister. On this Shabbat of Parshat Vayishlach, may the story of these two courageous brothers encourage us to trade our vampire teeth for good and to go for a genuine display of affection instead. When we look into the face of a stranger and instead see a sibling, the darkness often fades. Ra'i lefanecha sirot panei Elohim, to see your face is to see the face of God. May our encounters with the other similarly bring us light, peace, and an enduring sense of the divine. And let us all say, Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Roger.
Shabbat Shalom all, and welcome to our members and guests and our virtual congregants. Hope that your participation into this Shabbat has been meaningful. Some upcoming events that may be interesting to you. Tomorrow night, Testy, our youth group, will be hosting a Parents' Night Out from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. for children who are potty trained through grade 5. Pizza will be served, and the cost will be $15 for the first child, $5 for each additional sibling. Brotherhood on Sunday morning is having their monthly meeting at 10:30 here at the temple, and any male member of the congregation is invited to join us for our meeting. Come and see what Brotherhood is all about. Every year we do Schlep Sunday here at Temple Sinai, and this coming Sunday is the last annual Schlep Sunday. It's a person who's been handling it for so many, many years through the Jewish community will not be handling it anymore, so we invite you to clean out your closets. Let's fill the truck that we're going to have over here. It's December 3rd Sunday from 9 to 1. Just bring your bagfuls by over here and we'll take care of the rest of it. We encourage you to please do a good early spring cleaning. Thursday, December 7th, would like help for latke fry cooks at 6 p.m. Please email Dora and let her know that you can help. Dora's email address is thelippers@yahoo.com. We are inviting everyone to join us next Friday evening, December 8th, for our Hanukkah Palooza dinner candle lighting. Hanukkah sweater contest and dreidel contest. Busy evening. The evening begins at 6 and reservations are a must. See the weekly shofar for more details. Please join Rabbi Lipper next Saturday, December 9th, for Torah study at 9 p.m., followed by Shabbat morning service at 10:30 a.m. And one more event that I would like to mention and invite you to all please join the West Houston Jewish community Thursday night, December 7th, first night of Hanukkah at Fuzzy's Pizza here in Katy, which is at Mason and Kingsland. The owner of Fuzzy's Pizza is having a Hanukkah party, and he has been steadfast and ardent in his support of Israel starting on October 7th. He has been a great friend. He has made a couple of different donations to Federation's Israel Fund. He has made seven separate donations to Magen David Adam, and we are asking everyone in West Houston Jewish community to join us 6 o'clock Thursday evening at Fuzzy's. He will have sufganiyot, latkes, wine, and any food that you buy, he will be donating, again, 20% of the proceeds to the Federation. And in addition, of course, we will do a candle lighting there at Fuzzy's. It should be a great evening, and we're hoping to get a nice-sized crowd. So please do join us. And as soon as services is complete, join us for Kiddush, Motzi, and Oneg. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
So let's continue our service. Please turn in your prayer books to page 283, and rise for Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach la'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים יסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Page 287. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. May be seated. We continue with a reading prior to Kaddish, page 289, number 2. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision or grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We have set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide. By God's love are we comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. At this sacred time, our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race, every nation, and faith whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. This Shabbat, we mark the Shaloshim for Helen Hamlin, mother of Emily Deakins, mother-in-law of John Deakins, and the grandmother of Isabel Deakins, and Donald Peterson, a friend of Diane Statham. This week we also mark the yahrzeit for Stanley Carlton, father of Roberta Ray, Abraham Oliner, father-in-law of Karen Oliner, Stephen Foreman, father of Mindy Foreman, Robert Schwartz, father of Susan Hertz, Joseph Ruckman, father of Roger Ruckman, Nancy Balser, a friend of the Lippers, Henry Lurie, father of Richard Lurie. And if there are any additional names for Kaddish, please call them out. For all of them, we say Zechanam Levraha. May the memories of all of them be with us as a blessing. Together we turn to page 294 and rise as a community for Kaddish. Yet Gadal v'yet Kadash Shemei Rabbah, B'alama Divarach Yerute v'yamlech Malchute, B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agalav Zman Kariv V'maru. Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Mevarach Le'olam Olam Elamaya, Yet Barach v'yishtabach, Par v'trumam v'yitnaseh, V'yetadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, Shemed Kudsha Barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tush b'chata v'nechemata, Da'amiran be'alama v'imaru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh shalom, Aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imaru. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort to all who are bereaved among us. And let us all say, Amen. We close our service at the bottom of the page with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, Hu yaseh shalom aleinu, Ve'ala kol Yisrael, V'imru, V'imru. Amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, Shalom aleinu, Ve'al kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.